I'm going to call this the end because it's not the hacked code. I finally got to the code that I couldn't see. When we arrive, it's a treacherous thing. It's perilous, it's treacherous, it has all sorts of unknowns. You didn't choose to come here. You don't choose who you came to. You don't know who they are. You're young, you're vulnerable, you're powerless. You're at the mercy of what you arrived to. We all are. Every single human being. It's a casino draw. It's roulette. And it's very clever because you're going to get forged in whatever furnace you arrive at. And in that kind of twilight, in the kind of the dusk of consciousness, you are alone with whoever you show up to. And whatever happens, you're kind of half conscious and you're there, but you know, you're just in survival mode and you're like a vine around a stick. It's going to grow according to whatever's there because it needs to survive. Now, if you're traumatized, you shatter. You break up. Like a bottle, you drop it, 1,000 pieces of it. Why? Because a child cannot deal with the overwhelming trauma of what's happening. It can't deal. The only way it can survive is to break it up into a million pieces, and then it can deal with one bit over here and one bit over there. And not that at all. Or it just disappears. And then layers and layers and layers and layers of armor, and mostly crap, and mostly distraction, and mostly this didn't really happen to me, and mostly, oh, let's go look over here at that shiny object, and why don't we just go over there and distract with that? We're going to build an armor so that we never see what truly happened. Sometimes it's just too overwhelming, and it's because it doesn't go away. It's just there, like background radiation in the universe. It's there. You just can't quite get at it. For some people, it's too big. You know, God knows they end up doing all sorts of awful things, addiction of some sort or the other, right? So, I've been doing it for 5 years with the ayahuasca meditation. And I finally cracked the code. Literally yesterday, and it's going to be very difficult to say, but it's the truth. And it's very difficult to say because it can't be said. It's so awful. I come from a apparently well-to-do middle-class family. We all went to good schools. You know, I've got this funny accent that presupposes that I'm of value, that I have some kind of additional clout. God knows why. There's a picture of this family that's been built. There's a version that we've all played. We've all played these characters to represent a particular class. It's a tableau, a moving tableau of what supposedly a successful middle-class family, upper middle class I would say, is. The truth, and the person that presented this role, this man, my father, the showman, the look at me, look at my car, look, I'm someone, aren't we all somebody? The man that was obsessed with his daughter, unhealthily obsessed with his daughter, the man that supposedly loved his daughter, followed me everywhere, refused all boyfriends, controlled his daughter. That man sold his daughter for money as a young toddler. Now that is difficult, because that little girl that knew that couldn't handle that, had to create a story that she was going to save him, that she was going to make him into something, that it was her responsibility to make him successful, to look good. He stole my fucking soul to fulfill his agenda and wiped me out. So the image has always been, I'm just at the bottom of the ocean. My first line is, I was born and then drowned on arrival. And that drowning was him taking me to men to be sexually abused for money. For money. I was 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't remember anything until the last 5 years. So my children, in the terror of the moment, instead of, this is a monster, your parent can't be a monster. What they're doing is, they're doing it for your sake. They're doing it so that you're okay. They're doing it for a reason. It's a good reason. And if you don't think that, you're dead. You're completely dead, because you're literally quarantined by the fucking devil, and you have no power. Yeah. Now, it's taken many, many years to remove layer upon layer upon layer of armor, and then to get to the children that like, I don't want you to know what really happened. Now, I mistakenly thought, as I was getting more and more memories, that it was him. He abused me. He didn't himself abuse me. He used me as currency, as a dog, to be used by other men, because he was such a weak, miserable, con man, piece of shit loser. That's who he was. And I just hacked the code, which I had no idea. It was buried so deep in my psyche. I had built so many stories about who I was. To cut through that jungle has been nothing short of a fucking miracle, with the help of the great ayahuasca. We have buried histories, all of us. We have buried fear. We have buried shit. And we aren't in control. Whatever that trauma is, controls you. The great miracle is the knowledge that actually, yes, you shatter and you fragment because it's too overwhelming, but you can actually bring all the pieces together and see the actual picture and heal. That is the genius of ayahuasca. If you allow for it to work through you, you can literally take a broken bottle in a million pieces and, like magic, put it back together. So it's definitely something interesting in the universe that's going on, that we can break and then return to its original form. How that happens in science, I have no idea. But I literally did that. I took a broken bottle, a version, and put it back together, and it literally fell into place. I had like many different memories. On the beach, seeing it come, this blue place, the baker, Covent Garden, in this house in Spain, all these different pieces I had never put it together. I had an inkling, I knew it was about abuse, I knew about it. Couldn't fully know. Did I work in a, I mean, when I was in Peru, I had this thing where I was coming out of these doors, this little kid. Did I work in a whorehouse? How could I work in a whorehouse? No. These doors were the places he took me to be abused. And he made money. And he used me as a favor. Even the babysitter's father. And he wrapped it up. And he pretended. And I'm the only one that knows this. So everybody in my family is like, you're crazy. I don't believe you. I don't want to know. Nobody wants to know the truth, because once you propose a truth to them, that this is a con man, this whole thing was a complete lie, that means that they have to undress, and they don't want to. They want to keep up with the story. It's safer. It's more convenient. I get it. They haven't done the work. It's nuts to them. Psychedelic weirdness. To me, it's an incredible conquest. Incredible that you can hack into your system and put together the pieces that shattered your existence. All with the plant. And of course, I've had great help from the outside, blah, blah, blah. Indians. It's incredible and phenomenal and transforming, life transforming for anyone who's been through abuse. Bye. The end.